Good evening, Big Blue Nation, and welcome to Giant Central on the Sports Network, your home for everything New York Football Giants. I'm your host, Mike Brennan, and folks, we have to talk about the elephant in the room at One Giants Drive. The 2025 season is in the books, the off-season reset button has been slammed, and right now the front office led by Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll is staring at a roster with 22 unrestricted free agents hitting the open market this spring. Some of those names we absolutely want back in East Rutherford, but tonight we're putting three veterans under the microscope who, with all due respect to their careers, probably shouldn't be wearing the New York again in 2026. Buckle up, because this is a pivotal moment for a franchise trying to climb out of the NFC East basement and back into Super Bowl contention. Let's start behind center, where the Russell Wilson experiment has officially run its course. Remember the buzz when Big Blue signed the former Super Bowl champ and 9-time Pro Bowler last March? The plan was crystal clear: bring in the 36-year-old future Hall of Famer as a bridge. A mentor for first-round rookie Jackson Dart out of Ole Mississippi. Russ was supposed to steady the ship while Dart learned the NFL ropes. Well, that bridge collapsed faster than the old Meadowlands parking lot after a snowstorm. In the 3 starts Wilson made before Dart took the reins for good, the numbers are brutal. 2 of those games saw him average under 6 yards per attempt and complete less than 60% of his passes. Yes, he had that electric Week 2 explosion against the hated Dallas Cowboys. 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 absolute dimes on third down that had MetLife Stadium rocking like it was 2007 all over again. But even in that signature win, 2 crushing late turnovers snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. And when Dart went down with a concussion later in the year, Wilson came off the bench and led 3 straight second-half possessions that ended in nothing. 0 points. The Bears walked out of MetLife with a W, and Russ walked to the podium looking like a guy who knew the clock was ticking. Look, nobody's forgetting what Russ did in Seattle. Super Bowl 48 champion, the Legion of Boom era, those moonballs to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. The man is Seahawks royalty. But at this stage, he's not even a reliable backup anymore. Jameis Winston is already under contract for 2026 as Dart's primary insurance policy, and keeping Wilson around at his age and price tag just doesn't make sense when you're trying to get younger and faster. Tough, respectful goodbye to a legend, but it's time. Now let's move up front to a position group that has haunted Giants fans for the better part of a decade, the offensive line. And the first name on the do not re-sign list is a former top 10 pick who was supposed to be part of the solution, right tackle Evan Neal. Rewind to the 2022 draft. The Giants hold the 5th and 7th overall picks. They take Kayvon Thibodeau at 5, then grab Alabama's Evan Neal at 7 to bookend Andrew Thomas, 2 SEC monsters who were supposed to form the best young tackle tandem in football. Instead, Neal's 3 years in blue have been nothing short of a nightmare. We're talking a guy who has never posted a PFF pass block grade above 50.0. Not once. As a rookie, he surrendered 52 total pressures and 8 sacks. Year 2, 29 pressures. Year 3, 17 more before ankle injuries derailed him again. This past training camp, the staff moved him inside to guard hoping for a revival, and he lost the starting job there too. Last week, the Giants placed him on injured reserve without him playing a single snap all season. That's how far the fall has been. Injuries have absolutely played a role. No one's denying that. But when a former 7th overall pick can't crack the starting 5 on a line that's been one of the league's worst, you have to move on. The sunk cost fallacy can't keep us hostage forever. Say thank you to Evan, wish him well wherever he lands, and turn the page. And finally, another veteran interior lineman who's been a nice story but whose time is up, guard Greg Van Roten. The 35-year-old journeyman was signed as a 1-year patch after the John Michael Schmitz injury carousel last offseason. He gave the Giants some gritty, smart reps. Nobody works harder in the film room than Van Roten, but the tape doesn't lie. In nearly 700 snaps this year, he allowed the second most pressures on the entire offensive line and tied for the team lead with 3 sacks given up. His run block grade sits at a modest 60.6. Not terrible, but not the kind of dominance you need when you're rebuilding the trench for a mobile young quarterback like Dart. Van Roten was always a stopgap. He knew it, the coaches knew it, and now it's time to let the kids, like second-year man Marcus McKethan or whatever guard the Giants target in rounds 2 to 4 of the upcoming draft, take those reps. Freeing up that roster spot and that cap space is addition by subtraction. Here's the big picture, folks. Letting these 3 walk isn't about being cruel, It's about being ruthless in the pursuit of getting this proud franchise back to where it belongs. Remember, this is the same organization that shocked the world with Eli Manning, David Tyree's helmet catch, and that 17-0 Patriots upset in Super Bowl 42. This is the team of Lawrence Taylor, Michael Strahan sacking Brett Favre into retirement, Phil Simms, Frank Gifford, the ticker tape parades down the Canyon of Heroes. We've got 4 Lombardi trophies in the case, tied with Green Bay, behind only the Patriots, Steelers, and Niners. Big Blue doesn't rebuild forever. We reload. And right now, reloading means trusting Jackson Dart, trusting the young defensive monsters like Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Brian Burns up front, trusting Malik Neighbors and that explosive rookie receiving core, and most importantly, finally fixing this offensive line through the draft and smart free agent signings instead of expensive band-aids. I'll say this, if Joe Schoen nails the next 2 off-seasons the way he nailed the Neighbors and Burns moves, we're not just talking playoff contention in 2026, we're talking legitimate NFC East title threats again, staring down the Eagles and Cowboys the way LT used to stare down quarterbacks. So Giants fans, the message is clear. Painful goodbyes today can mean glorious hellos tomorrow. Let Russ ride off into the sunset, thank Evan Neal and Greg Van Roten for their efforts, and get ready for a new era at MetLife Stadium. Next week we'll break down the 5 free agents the Giants absolutely must bring back. Hint, a certain all-pro defensive tackle is at the top of the list. Until then, keep the faith, bleed blue, and as always, let's go Giants! This is Mike Brennan on Giant Central. See you at the draft.